This is the briefing from Transport Topics for June 25th. I'm Esmeralda Leon. Brian Work of CloneOps.ai discusses where artificial intelligence agents fit into today's supply chain workflows and what they might mean for the future of trucking operations. Catch the latest Road Signs podcast at ttn.ws/episode 167. Now let's dive into the day's top stories. Against the backdrop of rising tensions in the Middle East, the national average price of a gallon of diesel increased for the third consecutive week, spiking 20.4 cents to $3.77.5 a gallon. The jump was the biggest since a 21-cent leap February 12th, 2024. A gallon of diesel now costs 0.6 of a cent more than it did at this time in 2024, the first time the price of diesel has been more expensive than the year-ago period since July 15, 2024, when diesel was 2 cents higher than July 17, 2023. The price of diesel has gained a total of 32.4 cents over the past 3 weeks, after a run of 7 declines in 8 weeks, beginning April 7th. The Midwest and Gulf Coast posted the biggest increases at 24 and 22.4 cents, respectively. 2 weeks from President Donald Trump's self-imposed deadline to reach deals with the major trading partners of the U.S., some of the most watched talks aimed at clinching agreements to avoid higher tariffs are struggling to get over the finish line. On July 9th, exporting nations without a bilateral accord in place will face Trump's so-called Liberation Day tariffs that are much higher than the current baseline 10% level applied to most countries. Only the UK has secured something on paper, though that pact kept the 10% reciprocal rate in place and left unresolved one of Britain's pain points, 25% steel duties. On a separate track is China, which has a fragile truce with the U.S. that extends into mid-August to give time for negotiations to play out. Countries engaged in what Washington views as productive discussions may get their deadline extended. A ship that caught fire in the Pacific Ocean earlier this month sunk on Monday. The vessel was abandoned in the middle of the Pacific, about 360 miles from land, after a blaze. It was carrying about 3,000 vehicles, including about 800 EVs. Damage caused by the fire was compounded by heavy weather, causing the ship to take on water and ultimately sink, according to the vessel's manager, Zodiac Maritime. That's it for today. Remember, for all the latest trucking and transportation news, go to the experts at ttnews.com.
Spoken Layer.